Alrighty, Doc here from North America. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. It is, what is it? It is it's a holiday here in the States. We do have some trading going on in the electronic market when it comes to the the S&Ps and oil and so forth and gold. We do have that going on. Let's get that going there. And there we go. Let's see. The commercial is over with. I see me up there. And see who else is up there. Let's see. Let's see how this all plays out in the end. Nope, let's move that over and let's start that up. There's the dollar index. As you can see, the dollar index. Oh, let's kill that volume there. There we are. And there's the dollar index. And let's see. And minimize that. There we are. And let's go over and see the, oh, we're not seeing it. Let's see the, there's the euro. Is that the euro? I think that's the euro. Yeah, that's the euro. You can see the euro is flirting with the daily sell. And again, the world is kind of quiet today. I understand most of the European markets were down. I saw Japan. Japan's at a 35-year high now. It's only like 4,000 points away from all-time highs. That's pretty cool. They came out with little news in the sense of, you know, we always get a lot of different interesting information. The media doesn't always play it up very clearly. You know, it depends on their narrative, the way they want news to look. You know, it's what do they say? Something about history is written by the victors or something of that nature. So in this case here, the victors are the ones that control the licensing of news. You know, that type of thing through the FCC, through the government. And so right now, the numbers are coming out where they're downgrading growth down to about 1.25 now, 1.5 when it comes to the GDP. And I guess what it comes down to is the spending is starting to dry up because when they've hired, we have 23 million people now working for the government. That's a lot of people with 13 departments or 23 departments. Either way, it's a lot of people. A lot of people. They don't make money. They just find ways of taking money away from everybody, which is referred to as taxes. So they're not exactly growing the economy. Every time they raise a tax, the economy slows down more. And obviously, they haven't been able to raise taxes. They've just been able to raise regulation. The states themselves have been able to get away with raising some taxes. I mean, California now is, you know, almost up to that 70 percentile. When you pay the government taxes and you pay the state taxes, you're almost at the level when you're in the 70% of your income is being taxed. So that's really tough stuff. But, yep, that's what it comes down to. So the growth is not there. You can see the euro just leaking a little bit. But let's go back to the dollar index itself. Let's see if the futures contract is even trading today. Let me just double check that too. That's an interesting point of view. Is the dollar index trading? Let's see what we can find here. Let's see. Push that up on there. Get rid of that. I was reading a good article on AI. Let's see. All right, so we'll go like this. And we'll go like that. Bring that down. Minimize that. And let's see if we can get the beta up there and see if they're trading the dollar index. Log in. All right, let's see what the dollar index looks like. Where's the DX? DXH. It's right at the top. There we are. So, yep, there's a 14th right there. Let me put that up there. Yep, so they got a 14th. I just wanted to double check it. And we'll get rid of that. And you'll see the whole screen. Somehow, let's make it bigger. So you can see, oh, there it is. So you can see there it's flirting around with the sell. Still in the sell there on the weekly as we scroll that screen up. And you see that, and you can see the daily is trying to is that trying to get into? No, it's still, is it a minus? No, that's a plus. It's just by one tick. There's the minus on the 12th. So, I guess the dollar index, and you can see it here. You can see that strength there this morning. Let's just double check that date too. Yeah, that's it right there. So it's trying to lift up a little bit. The dollar's trying to show some strength. Overall, it's not really hitting it. But let's try it over here on the other platform. And we'll see what it looks like right there. And you can see that right there. Yeah, the strength of it right there. Up a little bit. It is trading there today. You see the weekly is trying to get through. It's just so small, just like we just saw over here. And I guess that's the daily. The daily is actually through. You can see where we went into a buy. We stayed in the buy, and we're still in the buy. Okay, yeah. That's right, because every time we get a move, it has a green and a red, so it won't throw us into the sell. So I guess what it is it's a... Where did it get into a sell? This was where it did go into a sell. If we grab it like that, you can see the sell, and then the next day it went into the buy again like that. Interesting. Interesting. Let's see if we have anybody on the chat line. Nobody on the chat line, but we do have some bodies here. That's good. So yeah, we're looking at the first quarter could be projecting as little as 1.25 to 1.5 in GDP in the States. Again, we talked about this, the growth. You can grow out of debt as long as you make money. If you tax out of debt, you don't make any money. That's the problem. When you raise taxes, you take in less money. When you reduce taxes, you take in more money. I know that's kind of odd because the media really doesn't try to explain that to you, because they're very big on the idea of taxing people. Time for the Tea Party here again in the States, I guess. And then what we have is, with the dollar index going so tight, and we've talked about this, there is not a lot of clarity on the interest rate cutting. All we know is, let's show you how the bonds look. Matter of fact, is it BZF, I think is, what is that? That's Brent. And then let me find the bond, the 30-year bond. Let's put the 30-year bond in here. We'll put it up on this screen first. Right there. Remember, when the price is going down, interest rates are rising. For the last, you want to say maybe 6 days here, 2, 3, 4, 5 days, it's been trying to turn up in price. Now push it into the buy there on Friday. Notice it's trying to drive itself back down again and go into the sell, but has not broken down mathematically yet. Right there. This is going to be interesting. Now, fascinating is, look at the weekly. This has been in a buy. The price has been rising, and the weekly is projecting that strength. And when it's going down, the bond price is going down. Interest rates are rising. So here the bond price is trying to go into a sell. And let's put it up on the other platform too. This is to show you on J4X, the bond, the 30-year bond. There it is right there. You see it has red there. Let's see if it completes that. At the same time, let's see if we can put the bond in, the 30-year bond, on J4X. We had it in there, but we lost it because we've redone the program. Let's see if this does it. 30-year U.S. 30 bond. Let's try that. U.S. bond. Futures. Treasury yield 30-year. Okay, so that's showing you the yield. Let's see if we can do this. Let's try that one more time. 30-year YR bond future. Hmm. 30-year future. Treasury yield 5 years. They're giving it all those cute little tools, you know. Just want to see the futures. Let's try it one more time. There's a symbol out there. Remember that. Maybe it's ZB. Let me try this. Could be ZB equals F. Let's see that. Yes, I think that's what it is. There it is. ZB equals F. So if we put that in there, let's go tune that puppy up. And that'll go on to the J on our beta. I want to see what it looks like on the beta. So let's see, where do I go? I go from here to... There we are. And then there. Let's see, we want to do an add. There we go. We've got it now. And ZB equals there. Save. Perfect. All right, now we click on home, refresh it, and there it is down at the bottom. And there's the, wow, look at that, it's just a dot, barely see anything. You can see the 4 days. Oh, you can't see any of this. Let's put that up on the screen. So right there, you can see 4 days in the daily buy. And you can see the weekly is doing the same thing. It's pressing underneath now as we speak. So, you know, if the bond prices are coming down, interest rates are rising. This I saw on one of the news services say something about European Union's consensus says that they're going to cut interest rates 4 times this year. But it's not the ECB saying it. It's a consensus. You know, like the money managers here in the States who think that we're going to see anywhere from 6 to 7 cuts in interest rates. Not too convinced we're going to see that. Some of them think it's going to start in March. I don't think we're going to see it start in March. If it starts, it's going to start, say, in July or August. You know, they want it to go right into the election itself. So that's going to be a real interesting situation here. 3 cuts possible. Could see that. You know, I mean, without growth, it really doesn't straighten the problems out. That's really the problem right there itself. The problem of the problem is they, you know, want to not exactly give us, growth. They want to just tax, which is really odd. But anyway, and then there's some really great books out there. The consequences of taxes. You know, in other words, history has shown taxing doesn't bring in more money; it brings in less money. But for some reason, the government media, controlled by the government itself, you know, gives them licenses to be able to broadcast news, is telling you that taxing is good. Somehow they kind of forget the 34 trillion borrowed. So, all right, so that's where we stand at the moment when we go back to the dollar index. Let's go back to that right there. And let's go back to it right there. And then we will go back to it right cha. Dollar right there. So you see it at 102.31 offered, 26s, maybe 27s, 28s bid for, something like that. You know, same thing over here. You see that right there, trying to break down a little bit, just on the edge. It's still got a green dot. and that is at 0.00. That's what happens when you use math. It's from atomic theory. All right, and then you go over to here, and you see that it's starting to China still lift up at, so last trade's at 102.32. Now you got Ducoscopy offered at 34. 33s are offered. Watch them trade. 30s basically are bid for. 33s are offered. And now we have a 32 trade. So Ducoscopy has a 102, what's that, 22 trade. Oh, that's because it's delayed, because it's the futures contract. That's all right. Ducoscopy is just off because of because it's not live. That's all. All right. So, the U.S. futures contracts, I think, have a little time delay to them. What else can we say about any of that? I guess that's pretty much the end of the story when it comes to the dollar. And how many times do I try to tell people, I think I need to get a cough drop in my mouth. I feel that tickle, and drinking the tea is not helping it any. Oh, no. Oh, there we go. Excuse me. So we're really trapped in that situation now that that we're not sure if the central banks are really going to lower rates or when they're going to lower rates. But one thing is for sure, it's an election year. The party in power wants those things lowered, and more than likely they will lower them. And that's what's the problem, is that the central bank here in the States, the Federal Reserve, really doesn't want to play games like that. And their policy has been to, slow the economy to get rid of the inflation. So, all of a sudden now, if you increase the speed of the economy with the same policies, you're going to get the inflation back. And that's a real quagmire. That's a real problem there. Oh, you can see on where did I have that? No, it's still the same. Okay. All right. Let's jump over to the euro itself. Let's put that on J4X. And traders, if anybody really cares about any particular product, like Giannis likes to look at some of the stocks, we'll put them up there for you. Give you a generalization of where things are going. Our level of accuracy is in the 85% area for the last 5 decades. So that's not 5 weeks. That's not 5 years. That's over 50 years. So, I'm sure you have long or shorts of something and you would like to know what's the best predictor, and we have it. One of the best predictors out there. All right, let's get the euro up on the screen. And again, we saw that before. It's trying to press down, but it's not in price. It's really kind of quiet. It's just up a couple ticks, really. The weekly is holding on. It looks anemic. I guess you could say that word. That's kind of like when it's a medical word, really. I like to use the term leaky boat, where it's taking in water, but softly. And so, you can see the euro is acting like that. When we go over and look at let's put the euro up on the screen here. There it is. Nope, not there. Right there. So there we go. And this is Davos week, too, at the same time. Davos this, Davos that, Davos everything. You can see there's that little pressure on the euro. But it's still a couple ticks up from Friday. And you can see the fast stochastic. Where is that at? That's at 56.3, almost 56.4. And you can see the slow stochastic at 63.1, I guess you could call that. And there's 56.9 on the euro. So it's underneath. So that's a bearish sign with the red hinky. It's telling us that they want to push it down. And then when you look at it right here, you see the same thing. It's pushing underneath the 0 line as we point that area out right there. And then at the same time, you can see the slow stochastic breaking the manifold, trying to head towards the 0 line. And you can see how the fast stochastic closed underneath it and is even underneath. It's really extremely down. Like it was right here. The fast is pretty extreme at the moment. And when you get that extreme, usually you get a nice bounce out of it, like you did here. And then it got across the zero line. We like to recommend, following the technical analysis of the slow more than the fast, because we think, you're trading days and weeks. You're trying to trade long term, or at least short term, long term, but not intraday. So we always think that the best, statistically, is to pay attention to the green and white histogram, the green line, white histogram, versus the dotted 5 gas line fast. All right. From there, we'll go over to cable. Let's see what the cable looks like this morning. Bingo, bango, bongo. There it is. A little red going on there. The fast is at 63. The slow is at 72. So another one of those is pushing into the sell, as you can see right there. Let's check it out over here. Over here. Over there. There it is right there. It's doing the same thing. You can see that pressure on it right there. And then you can see the weekly is trying to break down, and so is the fast and slow together, not being pushed down as much as the in the euro. And that's what we've been saying, that seems like the best currency against the dollar right now is the Swiss. So we'll jump over to that. And then from there it seems to be the cable. And then from the cable it goes over to being the euro. Not sure. I guess there's a lot of noise in Europe when it comes to what are you talking about now, like an emperor. I showed you that article on Friday. I think it's the Hungarian president or prime minister of Hungary who might become the emperor of the European Union. You never know what's going on over there. Europe is like a living museum. All right, now let's get the Swiss up on the screen. Right there. You see the fast is at, what's that, 50, is that 58? 59. And you can see the slow is at 53. So the pressure is also on the sell side of you're selling dollars, buying Swiss, and it's getting more expensive to do so. And as you can see, there it's going up. When the, let's just show you this. When the Swiss is going down, it's gaining against the dollar. When the Swiss is moving up, it's losing against the dollar because there's more Swiss needed. And so you can see it right here. So look at that fast. Zoom. Boom. Zip-diddy-doo-dah. And we've been in that weekly sell all the way back to here, So you can see that. And we're starting to put in a little bottom. We've gone into a daily buy there, then slid into a sell for a day, and back into that daily buy again. So, but we talk about it here a lot. We show you a lot that the bonds or the interest rates, maybe have been anticipated a little bit too low, and that's all we're seeing. There's background noise, I guess you could say. We don't really see it as anything, I don't expect to see a 107 dollar index. I can see the 3s or the 4s or something like that, but I don't really think we're going to get past the 7s. And I'm not even sure if we're going to see the 3s and the 4s, honestly. I think that this market today is a big day. I didn't even start off with this. This is the biggest news of today is the Iowa caucuses. The first votes for Trump to be the Republican presidential candidate. He's leading in the polls. Anywhere from 48 to 54. No Republican has ever won Iowa with more than 12 points. Right now they're projecting 34 points out of the history of Iowa of voting forever, ever, and ever. It has never, ever had a candidate win the Iowa caucus with more than 12%. Never hit 13. So, Here, Mr. Trump, they look like he's going to win it anywhere between 28 and 34, which is a massive, massive landslide. Massive. And so that's the news of the day, really. Markets liked Mr. Trump. They doubled under Mr. Trump. And at this point, at best, the markets for 3 years are pretty much unchanged. The Dow is at all-time highs, but the S&P and the Nasdaq are not. So the Dow is at all-time highs any given day, and it falls back underneath it. So it's basically unchanged since Mr. Biden has been sworn in. And that's 3 years now. Now under Mr. Trump, the thing tripled in price. It went from like 15,000 to 37,000. It's like 2.7 times it exploded in price. So markets do like Mr. Trump's policies, and obviously the voters really love Mr. Trump's policies. He's polling so strong. Never has an incumbent president polled so low in the polls. So, and then Mr. Trump did win more votes than any sitting president in history. So it's going to be interesting to see how Mr. Biden does in this next election. Mr. Trump claims that he believes that Mr. Biden is not going to be the candidate. So that's going to be very interesting. So there's a lot of excitement to come this trading year. And that's in itself fascinating, totally fascinating. He's convinced that neither him or her are going to be the candidate. That's really weird. So we'll see how that plays out. Maybe she'll be kept and they'll replace him. I don't know. It's going to be, I don't know. But Mr. Trump says he doesn't expect Biden to even be the candidate. So, and they're not spending any money. Democrats have just released their campaign account, how much money they have on the reserves, and they're up to $117 million. Never has a presidential candidate or a sitting president have that much money sitting in the account. They're not campaigning. I think that supposedly they only have a campaign of 6 people or something like that. So they're not really doing a lot of campaigning either. Biden does show up sometimes for something, but overall he won't discuss anything or do anything. And he doesn't even have news conferences as a president. He hides. They won't even talk. And he doesn't even have a news conference. And he's been about a third of the time as president, he's been on vacation. So it's very weird. Was there 9? Let's see. So we're in January of 2024. He's been in office 3 full years now. And that's that's almost 1,000 days, right? 365 days. So it's a little over 1,000 days. All right. And he's so far been on vacation over almost 500 days. It's 400 and something. So he doesn't even show up for things. Matter of fact, for a little while last week, they were saying, "Where's Biden?" They didn't see him. He didn't even talk to anybody. They bombed the Houthis in Yemen, and he didn't come out and speak. He wasn't seen. So it's where's Waldo? All right. Anyhow, let's go over to from the Swiss. We go over to the yen. Looking forward to seeing that. Okay, interesting. It's up, but it's trying to slide into a sell. It's been in that daily buy for a bunch of days. Oh, look at the weekly. Weekly's really pushing up. And like I said, let me see. Let me find. We used to have it on the screen, so let me see if I can find it. Let's see. Where is it at? Is it NKD? Let's see if we can find it. Let's put the Nikkei up there. It was at 35,000 I saw this morning out of Tokyo. So that's really cool. Nikkei. Let's see. Back that off one. Nikkei, NKD, I think it is. There it is. NKD. So we'll go to there. NKD. Let's put that in. let's do it in capitals. NKD equals F. Save. Matter of fact, you know what we should also try to do is we should try to find the DAX. Let's put the DAX in there too. Remember, we redid the platform, and because of that, DAX future. There it is. Let's put that in there. We'll find that and put it in. Why not? There's that. And then let's see the London exchange. London. FTSE. I'll find it. Let's see if we can find it. Not yet. I think it was like LD. London. Oh, let's just all right, let me just put this up on there. You'll be able to see the Nikkei. You can observe it. Spin. And there it is right there. There's the Nikkei. You see that trading almost at 36,000. It was 35,000 and change. That is a 35-year high. The all-time high is in the where is it at? The all-time high is at 39,000 and change. London index. I say London. There it is. We got it. Copy. We'll have to get really organized and do like Barcelona and things like that. It'd be interesting to see some of the other stock indices throughout Europe. Paste. There we are. Save. Okay, now let's see how the London exchange looks like. And then we got the DAX there too. We'll go look at the DAX. See what has that. There's the London. Yep. So that's cool. It's playing with the all-time high, but not there yet. Just like the Dow Jones Industrial Average was at the all-time high at the same. They seem to match really well together. And then you go back over to the DAX, and there's the DAX, and DAX doing the same thing. They're all plateauing. And then I guess you can say the Nikkei right there is the strongest. Oh, I know what I had. I had the Hong Kong exchange too. Did I have? Oh, you know. Let's see. I was thinking, how about the Singapore exchange? Because China does so poorly. Oh, there it is right there. There's the Hong Kong exchange. Poor Hong Kong exchange is down. Not the worst, is it? Let's see. What is it down? Let's go to 5-year. Yeah, so the Hong Kong exchange is down 50%. Let's put that in. And then we should try to find that Singapore exchange. Is it Singapore? No, not Singapore. The Shanghai exchange. That's it. That would be nice to see. Put that there. Paste. We just make sure that no one say anything on chat line. Chat line's still quiet, so everybody's enjoying Martin Luther King Day. Let's see if the Hong Kong exchange came up. There it is right there. There's Hong Kong. Ooh! I didn't realize they smacked it. So he drove it down from 115. Ooh. Oh my goodness. What's that all about? Let's see Shanghai. Let's see if we can find the Shanghai exchange. Let's see. Baidu. What is that? What exchange is that? NASDAQ. Okay. We already have that on there. Let's see if we can find the Shanghai exchange. Markets. Gainers, losers, world indices. There we go. Let's see what the Shanghai. Oh, there's the Kakaran. That's interesting. We should put that up there too. Let me get the Shanghai in there. Hang Seng. That's probably the same thing, isn't it? Hang Seng. Let me click on it and see what that is. Hang Seng Index. Let's take a look at it in a 5-year period. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. So that's down 50%. The Hang Seng. Who is the Hang Seng? I think that's the Chinese one. Let me just take a look and see. Maybe we can have the Hang Seng. That might be the best. I know I've heard that over and over about the Hang Seng, Hang Seng. So it must be the Chinese market. Because we try to understand their economies. Hang Seng Index. All right, Hang Seng. Hang Seng Index is the free floating adjusted market capitalization weighted stock market in Hong Kong. Okay, so that's the index we're looking at now. Okay, so let's go back and see if we can find. Let's see if we can find world markets again, and let's see if we can find the Singapore. See something we can, be able to look at when we're looking around the globe. Hang Seng, Nikkei, Singapore. There must be a Singapore exchange. I mean, there is a Singapore exchange. There must be an index. I know we had something. Let's just see. Just let me look a little bit more. Let me just check the chat line too. Make sure we're not missing any questions. Nobody's asking any questions, so me fishing is pretty good today. Let's see. The Kakarat. Euro. Shenzhen. Ooh, let's see what that is. That could be it. Or the SSE. Let's try that. That could be interesting. Shenzhen Index. Yeah, it's quoted in Chinese yuan. Okay. Let's see what a 5-year looks like of that. Yeah, it's down from where's that? That's down 50% also. Okay. And I wonder what the all-time is. The all-time is almost 19,000. It's down to 8,000. Yeah, so it's all right. We got something here. We can go with that. That's good enough for me. The Shenzhen. And at a play, they have a play like that too. And then we go add, and go like that, and we go like that, and go like that. Paste. Save. I feel like I should put like some of the more of the European ones on there. I think since we're chewing through time here, but no one's really asking anything, I think I'll do it on my own at this point, and just kind of drift over to that on the screen and go back to the chat line in case someone asks a question. I don't want someone to feel lost. Now you can see here, maybe that's because of the election in Taiwan yesterday. Boy, did they blew them all out. Taiwan, first time ever, the same party won the presidency the third time in a row. So they have an 8-year limit, and so it was a new candidate. So he's a president-elect, and the country showed that 65, 70% of the population think of themselves as Taiwanese, not Chinese. Interesting. And you can see here they really smacked the doodled to the Hong Kong. And then let's give this a refresh and take a look at the Shenzhen. There's a Shenzhen. It's down a little bit, not that bad. It's in a daily buy still. It's been in a weekly sell for a while. Look at that. These are both. Now this is I think this is the yuan based, the Chinese yuan based, whereas the Hong Kong is dollar based, and the Chinese yuan is also dollar based. The currency itself is locked to the dollar, but you can see here it's not that much damaging, but it is down from, let's say, 10,000 to what is that, 9,000. So it's a 10% drop over the last 45 days. So it's a 10% drop. And then when we go and look at, say, let's see, what do we do here? Let's take a look at the S&P 500. The S&P 500 over those same 10 days is up from 4,500 to 4,850. So it's not marching in the best of directions. Let's put it that way. All right. From there, let's jump. I was just looking at the stock indices. It's trading now at 4809, just down like, what's that? Down 7 points, 7 handles. So all right, so there's some pressure on it. No big dig. All right. So from there, let's go back to the currency, and let's take a look at the Great Experiment. I saw some really weird news. I'm not even sure what that's all about, but something about Turkey and Hamas connected, and I don't know, something really weird this morning. So I'm not even going to try to figure that one out. But let's take a look at the Turkish lira. Maybe that's why it's up in the 33s now, I guess. I don't know. Like I said, we've stopped trying to project our math to where it's going to go to. I hate giving it ideas. It seems to do everything our math tells it to do. I don't like that. I really wish it wouldn't do that. I mean, yes, I like the idea of my math being able to predict where it's going. Yes, I do. But I'm not happy about the population in Turkey taking all that punishment. I mean, their currency's gone from 1 to 33. So that really hurts. Let's see if it's resting a little bit. Ooh. Look at that. Did they go after 34? What's the all-time high now? Is 33.41. Ouch, that was Friday. And it closed, not at an all-time high, though. And today it's flirting with it. It's kind of quiet. It's in a daily sell for 2 days now. Look at that. That was wild. Let's see what it does. Boop, boop, boop. Let's see what it looks like right here. There it is right there. So Friday, the Hinky Ashki doesn't reflect that. But over in the States here, someone made a trade like that. Ouch. That's why we like looking at the Euro Turkish lira, because we figured that we're getting a much more accurate view of the currency compared to dollar Turkish lira, because, there's maybe 5-6 countries in Europe that can, just drive right across the border and transact economic commerce type of things, I'd imagine it's something like that, right? Isn't Greece like almost right there? And I guess we could take a look at a world map real quick, but I would think it's something like that. Let me just take a look at a European map. But I would think there's a lot, like Romania is not far away, and Greece is not far away, and some of the Baltics are not far away. And, you can drive through those countries, and European map. There it is. Whoop. Yeah, I mean, Turkey is like just about right there. Bulgaria is right there. Romania is right there. Serbia is right there. There's a lot of, what's that miles-wise? It's really small in miles. So you're talking about, Italy is a little tough. Could be a 350-mile drive. Austria, Hungary, all under 300 miles, or I guess what's that, like 520 kilometers, something like that. I mean, yeah, you can drive a truck for a couple of days and boom, you can bring commerce in, you can send it back out. So that's why it's so much better. You got to assume that we're seeing a lot more commerce when we look at the Turkish lira against the euro compared to the dollar against the Turkish lira. So let's put it this way: under 600 kilometers, it must have a dozen European countries. I mean, France looks like it's maybe 8. Is it 8? Let's just take a look at that. It could be 600 kilometers away by road. So that's pretty good. I mean, trucks in the United States travel like that every day. They go 500, 600. Yeah, I mean, let's put it this way: they travel every couple days 500 and 600 kilometers with no problem at all. All right, so that's the story when it comes to the great experiment. The government there has been working on doing something good for the economy, and it's trying to figure it out, and we hope they get it right. And I'm sure the population hopes they get it right. From there, we go over to the great South African brick, known as the rand. It's been really dead sideways. See that right there? This is the biggest brick in the world. There was a story I saw about the bricks over the weekend. They're getting more and more connected. They're transacting. It's just unfortunately the economies of the bricks are kind of weak. South African rand is the most powerful of all the bricks, and economically, and so it's well worth always watching. And when we look at that, we look at the gold market. We look at the metals market. Now, even with it a holiday today, let's take a look at that. And so there's gold. And gold is, they jacked it on Friday, but sold. It settled down more towards the bottom. Now, that needs to be fixed, I'm sure. We're going to have to double check that because we had it in a buy on Friday. And today it's trying to work its way into the sell. So we'll fix that. Looking at it against silver. Silver has that same odd situation. I don't think that's right. We'll have to double check that. These crazy holiday weekends screw things up. And it closed in a weekly buy last week. So we'll check that out. We'll straighten that out, get that fixed. See what Mr. and Mrs. Copper is doing. Copper's staying in that sell. And then the platinum, I think, went into, what did it do? Yeah, it stayed in the daily sell and is now in a weekly sell. And that pressure is on there. Now what we do is we look at the energy sector. Ooh, let me just double check the chat line again. It's so quiet today that I forget to look over at it because no one's saying anything. So let's look at energies, and let's put where is it? There's ZB. There it is. BZF. There is Brent. Let's put it up on this screen here. There's Brent. And then you can see there, just firm. You see in a daily buy there, in a weekly buy from Friday. Right there. And let's take a look at it over here. Right there. Pushed into I don't know. I didn't have that on Friday, so we're going to double check that and fix that also. Something seems wrong here. We were looking at this as a sell coming in today, and it is breaking down. We're going to have to clean this stuff all up and start over again. See how it looks. So. All right, now from there, we go over to natural gas. NG. Right there. Natural gas showing strength. It's trying to lift up. This is the February contract, not the March. The March is actually lower. Here's the March contract here in the States. It's trading at $2.52, whereas the February contract right there is trading, and you can see the same thing up on J4X too. This is the February contract. and it is also in the threes. So the front month has almost a 50-cent premium, which is a monster number when it's trading at such a low area to begin with. There it is right there. It's at three. It's offered at basically 10.5 cents, that type of thing. And we're looking over here. We're at $2.52. So there's a big discount going on between the active front month versus the back month. Matter of fact, let's take a look at that, how it looks in crude oil too. So there is February oil trading at 71.67, and the back month in March is 20 cents above it. So it's doing the contango in one direction in the heating, the actual oil itself. Actually, we can show you heating oil too. And there is heating oil. Where's that at? Right there it is. There's heating oil right now, the front month of February at $2.63 a gallon. And that's not an imperial gallon, it's just a regular gallon. And then we can see the April contract right there, trading at $2.52. It's just a dime underneath. Interesting. All right. I guess we got to come up with a title today too. I'm not even sure what to call it. What should we call it today? Trying to think what we could call today's webinar. What did we really talk about? Oh, the news. You know, this is news-driven market right now on a holiday, and I think that's the best way to describe it. So what happens is that we have the Iowa caucuses. So in other words, no more polls. Let's see what the actual voters say about the whole thing. And that's cool, you know. So so it's a holiday. It's a news-driven market on holiday. I think that's the best way to describe it. A news-driven market on holiday. And the news is, besides the caucus, which is the major one. We've talked about this. We've been doing a countdown to it, where we've been talking about the idea is we need to get past this election stuff, get the two candidates going. We know who the third and fourth candidates are, and let them roll and see where the public says they're going. It's going to be interesting. All the polls can say all they want, but it comes down to getting the voters into the booth or getting their ballot and putting it in the machine, one or the other. But one thing is for sure, it needs to be done. So, let's see, do we have that right there? Right there, that's it. Just double check again. Yep, we got it. That's Jonas. Cool. All right. So we're going to put the title in there and give everybody a chance to ask a question still. I'm going to sit here for a while, but at least now I have a title. And that is really describing what today's action is. And that is, it is what do you call it? News-driven market. News-driven market on holiday. Holiday. And that's really what it comes down to. News-driven markets on holiday. Boom. Done. So, Janos, there's no stocks today. I can't really show you any stocks. The only thing we have is a couple of things, and we have currencies. That's about it. And you can see how they are. They got no real solid direction. What else can we say about any of it at this point? But I guess happy trails to you until we meet again, which will be tomorrow's market, which is going to be active. Hooray, hooray, And happy trails to you, to all our trading friends. Thank you, traders, for letting me just ramble and tell you what's cruising through my mind and what I see in the news. And obviously, There's going to be a lot of news driving a lot of markets at this point. And tonight it begins. It actually begins today. The starting line, this race, starts today. The first primary situation. So that's really cool. So take care, and we will catch you all tomorrow. Same time, same channel.